Yo, he should have lost. Alright guys, so I got a very different type of video today. Instead of me going out and getting high kill games and teaching you about something specific, I kind of wanted to watch Jowo play on console, being that he is a really good PC player, and how he would look like on console. Now, I have seen this video before. I've seen this video a while ago. Don't remember it too much, but I do remember that he does have worse experience on console compared to PC, and we all know that there's so many advantages you can have on PC, not only with the 120 FOV, but things like input delay and other things like that. But we're gonna look into this video and see the difference between how Jowo played on console and PC and why he played the way he did. So I do think this is gonna be an interesting video, very, I guess, educational, because we could actually see how different these two things differ from each other. So right here I played Warzone on console from Jowo. It was March 30th, 2021, so almost a year old. What is that, like 9 months or something? I don't even know. But this is his video, and he played on console. Okay, I don't think that was a console clip though. Yeah, it was a 120 FOV. He has his PC stuff right there. So that was just a cool clip he put at the beginning, but that wasn't his actual video.
I was unbelievably excited to be Vizio's first ever streamer sponsor, and they sent me a 75-inch 120 hertz 4K TV. Humongous shout out.
Okay. So before we even started, he's playing on 120 hertz TV, and most people don't even play on 60 hertz. They play less than that when they play on TV. So if you are on console, 120 hertz is the best thing that you can possibly have. And if you are just unfortunate to have that, then it is going to hinder your performance, and you're not going to have as much reaction time as somebody like Jowo would have.
And honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought, but definitely console, you guys have gained my utmost respect because it was very different. So also guys, starting tomorrow, we're going to be dropping a brand new series on the channel. See, my setup.
Okay, so the setup he has here too, very different from what a typical PC player would have. They will play on their monitor, which would be so much easier to see the screen and things like that, but he is playing on a big TV, which can, even though it has 120 hertz, it still could be really bad for him, because he won't be as locked into the game as me just taking my PC and shoving it into my face, or my monitor and shoving it into my face. It wouldn't be as locked in as that, so he's a little bit distancing away from the game himself by doing that. And then he does have his PlayStation controller and that stuff.
It's in shambles, okay? My setup is in literal shambles right now.
Ooh. Honestly, his movement isn't bad at all on console. I don't know what sense he's playing. I probably should have checked. But if you notice the way he's turning to, a PC player like myself with 120 FOV, we can turn really smoothly left and right, and it looks really fluent. But him, he's kind of choppy with his movement than he was before. It still looks pretty smooth, but you could tell he has to throw his camera around multiple times compared to a 120 FOV player. So if you are on console, then you might play a little bit higher sense, not just because of the difference between the FOVs and the sensitivities, but also because you got to throw your camera around a lot more compared to someone who uses 120 FOV. So just to keep that in mind.
First game on, okay? Console recoil is insane. Oh my gosh. On PC, there's no recoil. What the heck?
Yo, he should have lost. He should have lost it like crazy. But let me just pop out right here. Centering is so much more important to do on console, being that you don't have that second chance of using your movements to get out of the way. So he kind of like realized that here. He centered right here, but then he kind of hesitated. And when he's on 120 FOV, he can hesitate like that and just run out of the way. But in here, he kind of got punished because on console, the 80 FOV doesn't allow you to do that. And He hesitates right here, goes out, and then he realizes, whoa, I can't move. I'm not on 120 FOV. And then he has to, instead of moving to the right, which he was trying to do, he knows he has to go forward and to the left because he can't use that 120 FOV. And then he pops back out, and this guy is just, you know, I don't know what he was doing. He was doing good at the start. Joe has half health. Joe probably didn't even hit this guy once. And then just hits all his shots like that. So, yeah, that's really crazy how much less movement you do get on console. Regardless of the input delay and all that stuff. It's just, it's a lot harder to move left and right. Alright, and then he dies right here. Which definitely I would have killed this guy on 120 FOV. Okay, let me just watch this one more time in slow motion. Okay, so we got it at 0.5, right? Just look how easy it was for him to miss those shots. Gets his loadout right here. Has his gun ready. He missed like 4 shots. So boom, 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 boom. And then all you need to do is hip fire. If you hip fire, you bring it out and you're able to kill him so much more. But I guess Joe felt like he had it already. He didn't want to hip fire. And you don't need to too much when you're on 120 FOV to hip fire because you have the whole floor spread out for you, right? But in this situation, he didn't hip fire, and that cost him in time. He did it right here, but that could also be him having less input delay because he's on console, that he actually meant to hip fire a lot earlier. He just couldn't do so because of being at being at more input delay and ruining his chances of actually recovering from this guy. Knocked my mic over. Alright, so he's about to do that movement on the person, right? What was it right here? Okay, so you could see in this clip, Joe has really good movement, right? He's able to do all those moves that he could do on 120 FOV, no problem. But the difference between him doing movement here and him doing the movement before at that one house when he almost died to that one player, right? The difference here is that he has a plan. He already knows where to move and when to move. But in that house situation, he was caught off guard where he had to make up the plan in his head, and the person in the game that he's controlling couldn't react as fast because he didn't have that input delay. So his movement right here is, you know, look, moves to the left, to the right, back to the left. There's amazing movement. But it's just that when you have pop-ups, you can't really react as much as you can on PC. But you can still have amazing movement on console. You just got to be able to predict more.
It wasn't on playlist super. Honestly, like it definitely does feel like. I mean, obviously it's a transition for sure, but man, it's like our second game on. It's like our second game on. Sense and stuff still feels weird, but I mean.
One thing I do want to say about something I miss on console is it was so much easier for me to actually hit shots and get more aim assist. So right here, you can see like how he centered onto this guy perfectly, right? Perfectly, even did like a little move away, and then he was able to hit consistent headshots. So on lower FOVs, it is so much easier for you to actually hit headshots, and you could be bad at the game and be able to adjust quickly on 80 FOV, and that's probably one of the reasons why Activision has made the default on 80 FOV, just because it's so easy to just look at somebody and use that aim assist to be able to kill them. However, there are many factors, as you all know, that can give a lot of advantages when using 120 FOV. So I do miss that aspect of 80 FOV being so easy, and I really enjoyed playing on console when I did. But of course, there's still the 120 FOV advantages, and I feel like if I play on 80 FOV, right? Because I enjoy playing on 80 FOV too sometimes.
Stop the cap.
But I'm not gonna play it a lot, mainly because my viewers don't want to see that. They want to see 120 FOV. If they've seen 80 FOV all day every day, why would they want to see more 80 FOV when I post on YouTube? And that's why a lot of people say like, oh, you don't play on 80 FOV, why are you talking about this stuff? I'm fine with playing on it. It's just that that's not what my viewers want to see, and if I played on 80 FOV for a year straight, why would I want to keep playing on it if the game is already getting stale as it is, and I want to switch things up and try other play styles as well? So I definitely do enjoy some things of 80 FOV, and one of the things I really enjoyed is how easy it was to lock onto a person. It was actually really easy than you think, especially when you switch to 120. You'll know what I'm talking about. You know, when 120 FOV comes, of course. It's probably not going to come. Anyways.
It's like our second game on. Sense and stuff still feels weird, but I mean, not as big of a difference as I thought. I mean, it definitely feels really, really solid. I'm gonna let you sell.
Oof.
No way, the car just exploded! He played so bad. No. We're stopping part 2. Wait.
So yeah, that was probably the most he dropped in the video too. I can go back and see his other games, but 7 is probably the most he dropped on console. At least in this video, he just switched, and he could probably drop a lot more if he continued to play on these settings and stuff like that. But overall, you know, an amazing player like Joe still struggles on console, and the same reasons that he struggles is the same reason a lot of people still struggle and can't beat a lot of PC players. And I say PC players, not 120 FOV players, because it's all about the hertz and maybe the graphics and things like that. He has good graphics here. He has good graphics, but it's really the input delay that messes people up. Not so much the 120 FOV. It's really the input delay and the reaction speed that one, I guess, platform has over the other. And that's really the thing that caused Joe to be bad on console compared to when he was on PC. It's not so much the FOV, it's really the input delay and some other factors too that really made him not do as well as he should have.